شنو الجو؟ شو الأمور؟ شو الأخبار؟ اسمي محمد وأنا لوغوليبت.
Salam alaikum, ni hao, guten tag, jambo, aloha, konnichiwa, ciao, annyeonghaseyo, hello, sawadee.
Every language has a rich history, and sometimes that history gets lost, which leaves us with words whose origins we simply don't know. Etymology is a branch of linguistics that looks at the history and origins of words and phrases. So through this series, we'll learn about where words and phrases, especially those in English, come from.
That's where it comes from.
I've already had a lot of people ask me about today's word, which is Logolept. I first came across the word Logolept a few years ago. When I was working in my university's writing center, it was my job to find a word of the day to write on the board to welcome our students. I often used websites like dictionary.com, mw.com, and Wordnik. Wordnik has a Twitter that posts the word of the day, and they're often really fun and original. And one day, I found the word Logolept. Wordnik's definition actually comes from Wiktionary, which simply says, a person who is obsessed with words, or one who has logolepsy. There's another definition from Wordnik that comes from the Century Dictionary Encyclopedia, which says, one who has a mania for using words in extraordinary, striking senses. Even though there's no etymology actually given as part of its definition, the formation is actually pretty clear and interesting, as etymology usually is. Logolept is a Greek compound word, coming from the words logos and lepsis. Now, logos is pretty easy. It's the Greek word for word. The prefix logo is used in many English words to mean speech or word. It's also where we get words like logic and logogram, which can often be shortened to logo. Lepsis is where it gets a little tricky. Lepsis means to take or to seize, and it's often used in medical terminology to mean a seizure or an attack. Lepsis was Latinized into lepsia, which gives us the suffix lepsy, which means the same thing, a seizure or an attack. Leptic is the adjective form, and the suffix lept is the noun form, which denotes the person who is having the attack. You may have heard of this suffix in other words like narcolepsy or epilepsy. Narcolepsy is a medical condition when someone can suddenly fall asleep, and epilepsy is of course a medical condition where people have an attack of seizures. Someone might say, I have epilepsy, to show the condition itself. I am epileptic, using the adjective form, or I am an epilept. Now, this form is less common, but it does exist. So in our case, we can say, I have logolepsy, referring to the condition. I am logoleptic, which is referring to the adjective form. Or, I am a logolept, as Muhammad did so wonderfully in our introduction. Thanks, Muhammad. So that's where it comes from. And now you are a logolept too. I'll see you next time.
This episode was filmed in front of a live studio audience.